Hey, it's Eloise here on Life FM, and so excited to be joined via Zoom by PEABOD. Hi!
Hello, thank you for having me. It's great
It-
to be here.
we are such big fans of your music,
Oh,
and
thank you.
we last chatted to you, I think, early last year. Sharon did the interview via the phone, but
hmm
isn't it awesome that we've got Zoom?
It really is. I'm so glad. And there aren't really many radio stations I've done multiple interviews with, so it's like I feel like I know you guys best, even though you're all the way on the other side of the world. So it's great.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we as soon as we found out about you, I think it was through Social Club Misfits. Those guys were telling
Mm,
us about you, and so we were kind of like looking out. And then yeah, we just added your song "Left Out," which really was a big hit here on Life FM. And then yeah, your recent song, well, not so recent anymore, but "Backpack" with Marty of
yeah.
Social Club Misfits.
hmm
And then, of course, your song, Big Feelings, which I think came out just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, let's talk about the song first of all. At the very beginning of the song, you mentioned that it's got a different vibe. So
hmm
I would love to know what sort of inspired the different vibe. I do love it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. It's funny that we'll start there because I've gotten a few messages that are like from like some really sweet moms who follow me that are like, "Hey, I love the new song, but I just don't want you to feel pressure to make like sad music to get radio play or something," which is totally not my motivation. But I felt very like cared for, like they're looking out for me. So that was very sweet. But yeah, to be totally honest, I went through a really big season of bitterness with the church and just kind of Christianity in general. And so this song is the first release from a new project I'm working on called Growing Up. That's going to be two like companion EPs that are really just that story about going into life kind of naive and excited and hyped and getting kind of smacked in the face by life and going like, wow, like there's some things that are very different than you expect as a kid when you're stepping out on your own. So that's Big Feelings is a song where that shift kind of happens. And then really the story is about healing from that and where the Lord met me in my bitterness and really has changed my heart and brought me on this huge journey. So but you got to tell the sad part of the story before you can get to the hopeful part. So really the whole project is going to end up being very hopeful, and there'll be some happy rap in there still, but not all of it.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. Yeah. I explain your music as happy rap when I tell
Mm,
people about your music. Yeah.
yep. I still feel like it applies, and it's I'm not trying to make any songs that are like only sad. Like I think Big Feelings is still fun, even though the message is pretty different. But yeah, we'll get back to some happy raps soon enough.
Yeah. No, that's really cool that you're doing that. I guess it's, yeah, like all part of growing up, isn't it? Especially you've got that song,
Totally.
Shoot from the Hip. And that's
hmm
kind of about like, oh, you have to pay for like all this stuff now that you're an adult.
Right. Totally, absolutely. It's just surprising. It's surprising to become an adult, and not all of it's fun. So
Now, I read somewhere that you are pretty good at impressions. So, and I know that like that's mostly for, minor characters or whatever. But what
Mm.
about an impression of a Kiwi accent?
Oh my goodness. I feel like this is going to be embarrassing because obviously you guys have such a cool accent. Here's the thing, and I feel like when I try to do accents, it slips between like Kiwi and English like really
Right.
easily, and so it's like I don't know. Do you have something you want me to try to say and just like go for it?
Um, yeah. Oh, I guess. Oh, now I'm trying to think of what to say. Oh, keen to hit the beach.
Came to hit the beach. Okay.
Oh no,
Kind of
keen.
what?
Keen. Like
Oh,
Keen.
keen to hit the beach. keen to hit the beach. Is that good? Keen to hit the beach.
Yeah,
This is nice because I have like a reference when you say it. Sometimes
yeah.
it's like, like my American friends will be like, say this in this accent. And then it's like you have no reference and you're just shooting
Right.
in the dark.
Yeah, you can kind of just copy what I'm saying.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, it's kind of like confusing, I guess, because when I was in America, I think 5 years ago, at a camp there, I would say some words and they would just have no idea what I meant. And these are words like Kiwi words that we use all the time. So I want to ask you if you can just, if you know or you think you know what this is. So I'm going to say a word and you have
Okay.
to tell me what you think it is.
Okay.
Jandals.
Jandals?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh,
Do you want me to just guess?
yeah, give it a guess.
Uh, are they like this is gonna be so wrong, but like sandals that are made out of jeans material? Jandals?
I thought you were close, and then you said the last part about jeans. No, so jandals are what we call, what you would call flip-flops.
Okay, so it's footwear. I was
Yeah,
at least in the like general
yeah.
category. Okay, cool. Jandals. I like that.
Okay, this next one, jumper.
Oh, that's like is that like a coat? I know it's a article of clothing. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah?
Well, you know how you guys call it sweaters? We would call it a
Oh, yeah.
jumper. But then also we call,
Gotcha.
like, this is a hoodie, but it's also a
Mhm.
jumper. I don't know.
Gotcha. Okay.
Uh,
Because I know that like girls can wear jumpers that are kind of like a one piece
Oh,
outfit.
see, we would call that either a jumpsuit or a play suit.
Gotcha. Okay. Learn something new every day.
This is the last one I want to ask, and I don't even know if you'll get close to it because this is the one that when I was in America at the camp there, they just had no idea what I meant.
Okay.
Okay, what are togs?
Togs. Oh man. I feel like I've heard this before, like in a movie or something. Um, is it food? Is it a kind of food?
No, no. Togs are swimsuits, bathing suits.
Oh,
Yes,
yep.
so you're gonna get your
Wouldn't have gotten
togs and bring your togs to the beach.
that. That's incredible. That's so good. I'm gonna start using that.
Yeah, do it. And I had someone be like, a tog? I'm like, no, no, it's togs. Even though if it's one, like, I don't know, one
Yeah,
suit,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
still togs.
I got you. I got you. That makes sense. That's awesome.
Now, I also have noticed that you use quite a bit of sound effects on your songs. For example, and I've got quite a few to play here.
Oh,
This.
awesome.
If you met you at one of your concerts, and I would love to borrow your truck.
Hey, PEABOD, I need help with my sister.
And then also this.
I really miss you.
Mm.
I love you, baby.
What's the matter with you? Money isn't everything.
Yeah.
And. Oh, hang on. Sorry. Like the can opening. And also, the last
What you're going
one.
to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle.
Yep.
So, my question, why do you like to add lots of different sound effects in your songs?
Oh man. I mean, part of it is I've just always been really fascinated by like sample culture in hip hop. Like, I don't know, there's something really cool about taking something that was intended for a different purpose and flipping it and making it your own. And so sometimes I'll make my own samples, and sometimes I'll find like some royalty free ones, like all those movie quotes. And I think that for me, it's kind of like about connectedness a little bit. Like, you could pull like a lot of hip hop tracks that have been sampled are like jazz tracks or gospel tracks, or it might be a genre with like that singer might even like not be a hip hop fan. You know what I mean? But you pull that musicality or that quote or phrase into the song, and all of a sudden you have a link to this entirely different world. and potentially a whole different audience. So not that it's about audience growth, but I think it's this sort of, I don't know, for me anyways, it makes me feel like there are other voices contributing to my music, and that makes it bigger than just me sitting in, my living room making
Yeah.
beats on a computer.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I really like it because it kind of makes your songs a story. It
Mm,
kind of just
yeah,
like, yeah, it kind of deepens it up, I guess. That's how I feel like when I listen to it.
totally. No, I appreciate that. Well, and I think there's something so special about like if you're into musicals, like obviously Hamilton just came out
Oh,
and
it's
the world is
good.
freaking out about that, and it's amazing. But there's something really cool about watching a story unfold, but you're also singing it, and it's catchy, and you can like kind of dance along with it, but something's happening and you're watching it. So yeah, that's a really great. That's totally another reason why I use it.
Oh, that's cool. So last year, at the end of the year, with
Hmm.
Spotify, they do, your year in review. And for artists, you get a sort of different like statistics. And
Hmm.
I spent 25 hours, I think, or something, listening to your music. You were my top artist last year. But I don't even think that's the most that a fan, has spent listening to your music. Do you know what the biggest was?
I don't actually. It was. I know someone tagged me at one point, but there were some pretty crazy numbers, just like hours and hours and hours of listening, which is so humbling. Totally blows me away.
And also, there was a part, like a statistic that you got that said one country went above and beyond for you. That country, New Zealand.
Of course, directly thanks to you guys. I appreciate it. No one
So,
would know about my music without Life FM for sure.
yeah, no one in New Zealand. But yeah, we have some big fans of yours, and I've actually got a few people to ask some questions or tell me some
Awesome.
questions that they'd want to ask you. So I've asked a few of these questions already. This first one though, not really a question. It's probably more rhetorical. Someone asked, "How is your drip so fire?" But
I don't know how to answer that one.
yeah. An actual question. What made you decide to start doing more hip hop over folk?
Mm. Um, so when I was kind of like in the thick of this bitter season that I mentioned earlier, I'd already done a folk project, kind of working through some similar themes, and I just really needed something that was like free and just purely focusing on joy and fun. And I had messed around with hip hop a little bit. Summer of Fletcher was the first song I wrote as like a Peabod track. And that was purely just for fun because we had this roommate named Fletcher who was a fun dude. And we were like, let's write a song about him. But I had so much fun making that track. It was so life giving for me that I was like, I want to do more of this. And um, eventually I ended up getting an offer for a record deal because of this hip hop project I had made. So initially I was like, okay, like we'll see where this goes. But now a couple years down the line, I'm so grateful that I'm doing hip hop because there's so much freedom to do things like pull in a movie quote or, make it a very folk influenced track, but still hip hop. And so I just feel like I have a lot of freedom to do kind of whatever vibe I want to chase in the moment. And that is something that I feel like in a lot of ways is really unique to hip hop because it's always evolving.
Yeah. And how do you normally go about writing your songs? Like, do you think of the idea and then the lyrics first, or do you get the music?
It kind of depends on the season for me. Cause like this project, was a pretty ambitious like idea. It's all very story driven. So, I was like, I'm trying to figure out how to, if my story is only going to be 10 or 11 songs long, what are the staples? What are each of those chapters? And what's a catchy way to say that thing? Um, so in this case, it's been very concept driven, and then I've started writing from there. But sometimes I'll start with a beat, and usually like if I'm in a season where we're not working towards a project and I'm just kind of playing around, sometimes I'll sit down and I'll just create and go, oh, this sounds like this kind of feeling or whatever. But most of the time it's concept driven.
Nice. Now, this one's specific to a song you have, and I also have questions about this song.
Oh, cool.
Day was marvelous, and when the sun sets, we will tell the noche hola. Let's open happiness, 'cause you know that tonight is as sweet as Coca-Cola.
You have a song about Coca-Cola.
I do.
First of all, were you commissioned to write a song for Coca-Cola?
No, and I've tried to tell them that like they should like pay me to use it in
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
But,
they
you know,
should make a TV ad for this.
right, exactly. That's what I keep telling them, but I think that I haven't gotten a response yet. So, you know, multi-billion-dollar organization and one dude sending emails. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I truly just really love Coca-Cola, and it kind of like evolved more than I expected it to, because you know, like in college, everyone has kind of like their thing that they're like known for really
Right.
liking. So I just kind of like leaned into Coca-Cola because it was just fun. But then people just started giving me stuff, and so now at my other job, my entire office is like full of Coca-Cola stuff, and I haven't bought any of it for myself. It's all been like gifts from people, not even like for my birthday. Just they'll just like walk in and be like, "Hey, I got this for you," and it's like a huge like puzzle
Wow.
that they built and mounted. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm gonna hang that on my wall now. So I really truly love it, but it's like it's grown more than I expected it to.
Right. Yeah. And I guess you have to like, yeah, I still really love it.
Yep. And I do, I really truly do, but it's just funny because that became like the thing that everyone would give me
Yeah.
for any reason.
Right. Someone wanted to know how many like cans or drinks of Coca-Cola did you drink while writing the song?
Oh man. Well, I had to crack a bunch to get that perfect like, you know,
Yeah.
sound right before the drop. So I don't know, probably not too many, maybe like 3 or 4 or 6 or
Yeah.
you know.
And I mean, when I hear the song, that makes me want a can of Coke. But I want to know, there's so many different like varieties of Coca-Cola. What is your go-to?
Mm.
Is it original, diet, zero, no sugar, vanilla Coke?
Oh, man, I really do. I know it's a cop-out answer. I really do love all of them. The one I buy most frequently is just original. But you know how they have those like infinity machines at some restaurants where there's like all the different weird flavors of maybe this is just a
I think
American
this is an
thing.
American
It-
thing, yeah.
It's like this huge vending machine that instead of having just like the 8 sodas that you normally would have on like a plain like, you know, fountain drink,
Right.
it's got like one dispenser and like a touch screen, and you can click into Coca-Cola and it has like 20 different flavors. So it'll be like grape
Wow.
and orange and lemon
Wait, you have
and
like fruit
yeah,
flavored Coca-Cola?
yeah.
Oh, we
And
don't
there's a
have that here.
raspberry one. Oh man.
What? Raspberry
Yeah.
Coca-Cola. Like that's a drink we like make ourselves. Or if we
Yep.
go to a restaurant, we try and make that.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. It's like life-changing. So hopefully you guys will get one soon and you'll have to let me know what you think. But raspberry Coca-Cola it's really good.
Nice. Okay. And someone wanting to know how did you learn to produce your own music?
Oh man. So I started with this cheap software on like a really, really janky computer that like at one point the like sound card was scratched on it, so I could only record for like 26 seconds at a time, and then it would there'd be like a blip in what I was recording, so it would like cut the ends off of words and stuff. And so that's where I started, just with like the cheapest stuff that I could get. And I just, you know, watched YouTube videos and kind of just kept playing around with stuff. And when I got to college, there's a recording arts program at the school I went to, and so I learned just enough to like keep teaching myself. And over time, it's the kind of thing where I look back now at some of the techniques I was using, and I'm like, oh, why did I do that? That took like an extra 3 hours.
Oh.
If I had just known this thing I know now, I could have done it in half the time. But it's all part of the fun too, like as you have new ideas and you're like, how could I like make a tape stop sound like it so it sounds like a record's scratching? It's like, well, Pro Tools has a tool for that, and it's like 2 buttons, and it's not complicated. And so there's so much at your disposal that as you're having ideas, it's like you just Google like, can I do this? And most of the time the answer is yes, which is pretty awesome.
Oh, cool. So you mentioned earlier that you're working on some new stuff. Is
Mhm.
there a sort of like ETA, estimated time of, arrival when that will be out?
Yeah, so we're gonna drip feed a little bit of it. We'll have a couple more singles that come out, and then 2 more for like the first EP that I mentioned, and then I'm still writing for the companion EP, so there'll be a little break in between. But we've got quite a few songs started or like halfway done for that one. So all of the first side will be out before the end of the year.
Yay!
Um, and yeah, and there should be a new one coming, I think halfway through August. That one's called Heavenly Father, and
Cool.
it's I'm really excited about it. So lots of new music coming before the end of the year. Then a little break, then lots more new music.
Oh, that's awesome. And, I guess right now travel isn't on the cards, but once travel opens up again, would you love to come to New Zealand?
Yes, yes. Honestly, any way we can figure out how to get me there, I'm so down for that. That would be so fun.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we had recently Lauren Daigle over in New Zealand earlier this year.
Cool.
And the funny thing with that is that our morning wake up radio team, the 2 guys there, have been trying to get an interview with Lauren Daigle for probably, I'd say, 4 years. And then it sort of just finally happened, and it felt unbelievable at the time. But yeah, she came over for Festival One, which is this big festival here in New Zealand with Christian artists. And she like performed
Cool.
here, and they finally did their interview. So luckily,
Amazing.
we've had a few interviews with you already, and we're, playing your music. So hopefully when you do come here, we're going to have lots of people at your show.
I would love that. That would be so awesome. And I mean, New Zealand's like top of my bucket list for places to visit too. So it really would work out on a lot of levels.
Yeah, it would. Oh, thank you so much, Peabod, for chatting with me today. I hope you have like a fantastic day or whatever the time is for you. Afternoon or
Yeah, I got
don't
some
know.
day left.
You are a bit behind us though. I think we're a day
Yeah.
ahead. So yeah,
Yeah.
thanks so much for
What's it like in the
chatting.
future?
Great. Yeah. It's
Awesome.
good. I'm already 27, I guess. Whereas where
Happy
you are,
birthday.
I don't know if I'm quite 27 yet, but
Was it your birthday today or tomorrow?
well, for me it was yesterday or the day before, and for you it's maybe
Wow.
today or tomorrow. It's confusing.
Well, happy birthday.
Thanks. Yeah, it's so good to chat to you.
Yeah, you
And
too.
we are loving your songs. Oh, before you go, just wanted to let you know that your song is now in the top 10 on Life FM's You chart. So
No way.
we've got
That's
people
awesome.
voting for it, and yeah, it's on the top 10 countdown.
Oh, thank you. That's so awesome. I really appreciate the support, you guys. It means a lot.
No worries. See you later.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Bye.
Live FM. Live it.